Hi everyone, this is Carol from the Society of Thoracic Surgeons. I'm the Senior Clinical Manager over the databases. This is the Intermacs PDMacs call for August 26th. I'm barely replacing Catherine for today's call, and we're going to do something a little bit different. Catherine and Janella are both out, so we didn't want to cancel the call, but we wanted to use this time to kind of hear from you regarding a survey that we send out yearly. And we're going to actually poll you on these questions. So if you're able to log in via the web, and you'll see the polls pop up as we go through some of the slides. This is more about your history, what's going on at the site, and for us to get an idea of the current environment that you're working in and what your resources are at your hospital. So we'll get started here. On the line with me today from STS, I have Donna McDonald, who's the Director of Quality, and I have Leanne Jones, who oversees the general thoracic and congenital databases. And then from UAB, we have the UAB team. We have Chase, Jeananne, John, Maceo, and Ryan. So we'll get started here. Thanks again for joining. Please submit your questions into the Q&A. We will do our best to answer them. If we can't answer them because we don't have the resources of Catherine and Janella, then we'll have to reach out to you after the call with the correct answer, because we don't want to give you the wrong answer. So like I said, we are going to do the data manager survey today. We really want to hear from you. This is a great opportunity for STS to learn about you, and then we also are able to share these results after. It takes a little bit to put them together, but we share these results out, and they're helpful for sites when they're looking at staffing or what others, they're looking to see what other sites are using their resources towards. So the first set of question is, tell me about your database. So I'm going to launch. Okay. This is the first question. We would like to know what database do you abstract for? I really appreciate everybody taking time to join us and do this survey. It's really interesting, and I think it's also neat to see what your peers are doing and who's on the call with us. So, okay, I'm going to stop. I think we have 74%. Okay, survey questions never came up for me. There might be in the black bar, there might be a poll, there might be something that says polling. You may need to click on that, or underneath more, there might be something that says polling, and it should pop up. You also might need to minimize the screen or minimize the PowerPoint if it's taking up your whole screen, and you might see something there. Is anybody else having problems seeing the polling questions? I'm gonna, you could raise your hand if you are. Okay, Ashley, we can reach out to you after the call and send you these questions so we can get your feedback in. All right, I'm going to end this poll and we're going to go on to the next one. So it seems to be working for most people. Hopefully, Ashley, we can figure this out for you. And here's the results for that. So most everybody here is abstracting 98 for Intermacs, and then we have some crossover into adult and into the PDMacs database. Some sites are also, 4 sites are abstracting for general thoracic, and 1 is for congenital. All right, the next question is related to, I'm going to stop sharing this. We'll share these results out in a more formal manner in a few weeks. Just we have to compile the results. So I'm going to stop sharing this one, and we're going to open up the next poll, which is about tell me your background. So there's 3 questions in this one. The first question is what is your, oh, I have to relaunch it. Okay. The first question is what is your background? The answers are RN, APN, perfusionist, quality, improvement, non-medical. Can you all see the poll?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. IT, not other clinical, other non-clinical cardiac physician, and then, or other physician. And then the next question underneath that is how long have you been abstracting data for? And who do you work for, a hospital, a data abstraction company, or both? So let that run for a little while. I think we're going to have, this is really going to be a great representation of what everybody. Wonder why Suzanne can't see the questions.
Yeah, I don't know. Message her privately.
Okay. All right. So I'll leave it open if it looks like we're pretty. It looks like we're pretty good. So I'm going to end this poll and I'll show you all the. I think we're good. I'm going to end the poll and show the results here. So for background, 64% are nurses, followed by other, followed by QI non-medical and other non-clinical, and a few other choices here. Most have been abstracting for 1 to 2 years. And that's really important for us to know. We do have some folks who are over the 10-year mark. 8 people on this call have been abstracting for 10 years or more. It's really important for us to work as a community and the abstractors who are newer to the program to provide your resources through our mentorship program to the newer abstractors to help them get comfortable in their role. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And then who do you work for? Most folks work for the hospital. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next poll. Tell me about your role in abstraction. That's the next polling question. And the questions here, there's a couple, so you might have to scroll down. There's 5 questions here, it looks like. The first one is, what is your role regarding data abstraction at your site? This is a multiple choice question. Primary data contact means that you're the first person STS or the head person STS would contact regarding your database for the abstraction side. Backup data contact, your data abstractor, but your supervisor might be somebody who we would contact, physician representative. And the next 2 questions are, or the next 2 answers here are, I do abstract or I don't abstract data. So you could be a primary data contact and you do abstract, or you could be a primary data contact and you don't abstract. So this is a multiple choice one. The next question is about utilizing a third-party abstraction company. And then how many cases per month do you abstract? And what's the average time spent on abstracting a case? And when do you abstract? In real time, within 1 week of the OR date, 1 to 4 weeks after OR, or greater than 4 weeks after OR. And I'm sorry these are all in here together like this. I don't know how difficult it is for you to see it on your side, but putting it into Zoom was a little tricky trying to enter in all of these questions separately. So I had to do it this way.
Carol, we have a couple of questions coming in regarding clarification.
Sure.
Bonnie is asking cases per month, Intermacs only, or the total with other registries?
Oh, let's talk about Intermacs only for this poll. Thank you for asking that. To clarify, it's for Intermacs or PDMacs, or Intermacs and PDMacs. For this third-party vendor is just related to your Intermacs data abstraction. For Sheena is asking, we can't use third-party vendor for Intermacs, but use it for other STS registries. Next, for all cases, so it says, do you mean all cases or just implants? This is related to Intermacs, PDMacs. So how many cases per month are you abstracting for Intermacs and or PDMacs if you do both? And I would count each visit as a case. So how many times are you entering information into the IQVIA platform? I'm sorry, into the Intermacs platform for Intermacs or PDMacs? And then for the role of data abstraction questions, I answered don't abstract, but then I can't submit without answering the questions on how many cases Just put the lowest number. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why it wouldn't let you do that. Okay, I think we're good here. So I'm going to end this and I'll share these results. The next, most people do abstract, and most folks on the call are primary data contact or backup contacts. Most folks do not use a third-party abstractor, and less than 5 cases per month. And this probably wasn't a really great question. I should have asked how many times are you submitting data on patients per month to the Intermacs platform. Otherwise, it seems 5 to 10 or 10 to 20 is the average amount. And then the time to abstract a case is 1 to 2 hours. Most folks abstract cases 1 to 4 weeks after OR date. And that's interesting because I think what we saw happen when we had to go on the, we had a lot of sites who had been subjected to furloughs for 1 to 4 sites that had been subjected to furloughs related to the COVID-19 or the their staffing changed, they maybe were called back to floors. Is this not abstracting in real time or within 1 week of the OR date really put sites at a disadvantage when they got taken away from abstraction and cases were still going on. I don't know if that happened so much within Intermacs and PDMacs, but I know for the other registries, it really put sites at a disadvantage when they got put back to work for abstraction and they had to do all the cleanup from January and February in July or August. So that's interesting because I think that most registries are about 1 to 4 weeks after OR date. Okay, thank you. Next question, I want to see your number. So this question is about the number of cases per year does your hospital perform? And I guess, yeah, I would say all new. So I answered these questions as though they were all new to OR, and I think that's fine. I think new to OR or revisions probably would be okay to put that in for the counts. And then how many people at your hospital, how many people abstract at your hospital? And again, this is related to the Intermacs and or Intermacs PDMacs registries. And those are the 2 questions for this one. So I'm gonna launch that. So how many cases per year does your hospital perform? And I would say newer revisions, and then how many people at your hospital are abstracting for these registries for Intermacs and PDMacs. Oh, I know. Suzanne, if you still can't get in, would you like to put your answers in the Q&A? That way we have a track record of them. Maybe that would be okay to do, and we can just dismiss your answers, but we'll just say that we received them, and we'll just have it in a different way. So part-time people, I would count those as a half of person. So I would say if you have 1.5 people, I would count that as 2 to 4. 1.5 people, I would count that as 2 to 4 people assist me. So you can look at this as FTEs. And you can just leave number 2 blank. Oh, if you leave it blank, you can't submit. So put the lowest numbers. Then I would put I am the only abstractor unless you know for sure how many people are abstracting your data using the third-party abstraction company. So Sherry, if it's only you and 1 part-time person, then I would choose 2 to 4 people assist you. And then thank you, Suzanne, 1 person for you. Okay, looks like we got some good results here. I'll give it just a couple more seconds, see if anybody else can jump in. So here are the results for this one. It looks like cases are 0 to 50 per year for most sites. We have some sites doing quite a bit at 200 to 500. And then how many people abstract at your hospital? And it seems that 1 to 4 people is the average here for the site. So that's a good group. Alrighty, thank you for that. And then our next question is your previous experience. I'm going to stop sharing this one, and we're going to go over here to your previous experience. So the question is, what was your previous experience prior to becoming an abstractor? And if you did not have any, if this is your only experience, I don't know that it would be, but if it is, I would just not answer this question. So the choices are clinical, non-cardiac surgery, cardiology, non-cardiology, or other medicine or medical administration, clinical cardiac surgery, which is CVOR or CVICU, perfusion, non-clinical but within healthcare, and non-clinical and not in healthcare are the choices here. All right, Suzanne has, she's going to get put into the clinical cardiac surgery group. Thank you. And we'll put these together in a nice format. Once we get all these results in and we sort them out, we can make some nice graphs with them and share them with you all, just so you have a better understanding of what the environment looks like for abstracting Intermacs and PDMacs. Okay, I'm going to stop the poll now, and it looks like most folks have a clinical background in cardiac surgery or non-cardiac surgery. All right, we're going to go down to your other work responsibilities now. And this question is asking what is your if you have other work responsibilities, just one question. Do you abstract for the STS Intermacs PDMacs database wrong? I spelled PDMacs wrong. Do you abstract for the STS Intermacs PDMacs database only, STS and other cardiology databases, STS and other surgical databases, STS and other clinical responsibilities, which means you could be at bedside or have you're in respiratory therapy or anything like that, and then STS database and other non-clinical responsibilities, or you do not abstract data. Okay, we're getting the hang of the polling. And I'm sorry this isn't very much of an educational webinar. I just didn't feel comfortable. How about STS and other quality responsibilities? So I would code that as STS database and other non-clinical responsibilities. If you're out of the bedside or out of direct patient care, I would code that as other non-clinical responsibilities. And so I didn't feel comfortable that we would give it justice to provide an educational webinar today, since Catherine and Janella, major parts of the team, are not available to join. So thank you for participating in this polling session. Here is the results for that. Most folks are abstracting for other cardiology databases, which I assume are probably NCDR, the other congenital database, Intermacs only, or other surgical databases. So that's great. Next question is regarding education, and we're almost done with these questions. The education question is about the education that STS provides you, and STS provides you along with UAB. And the question is first one is, do you participate in the STS mentorship program? And the answers are aware, not participating, yes, participating as a mentor, yes, participating as a mentee, or you're unaware of the program. Next question is, will you be attending AQO this year? And the choices are, yep, you already signed up. And I hope you signed up, because that means you took advantage of the early bird pricing, which is half off. And then, yes, you will be signing up. So make sure you sign up so you can get that good pricing. And then, no, I can't make it this year. And what in the world is AQO? And then the next question is, what have you attended AQO in the past? And Intermacs PDMacs last year was the first year, I believe, that we had Intermacs PDMacs at AQO. where it had its own dedicated session. So this year we have a full day dedicated to Intermacs, PDMacs. Next, and the fourth question on this page is, do you find the monthly webinars and quarterly report review webinars helpful? And the choices are yes, and the amount is perfect, yes, but I would like more frequent calls, yes, but there are too many calls, or no, they are not useful to me. And don't worry, we won't judge you if you say no, they aren't useful to you, but we may reach out to say, what can we provide that would make it more useful to you? And then, do you feel that you have the knowledge to do your job correctly? Yes, I'm good. Yes, but I'm still learning, or no, I definitely need more training. And if you need more training, don't feel like I'm going to call your name out. I'll ask Catherine to reach out to you to check in and see what we can do to help you with feeling more comfortable in doing your job, where you feel confident in doing your job. And then I think, did anybody from UAB want to add anything here while we're waiting for the polling results to come in?
This is Ryan Cantor. I just wanted to add, for those that are attending the AQO, there'll be several talks related to Intermacs and PDMacs from the UAB team. John Pennington's doing one of the simulcast, and then there'll be several on-demands from Maceo Devon and myself related to reporting and some point-and-click tutorials on using your data. So if you're interested, be sure to check out all of those learning materials.
That's great, Ryan. Thank you. And I don't know, is it easy for folks to find that information on the UAB website, or is it something that we need to provide like a tutorial on and kind of show folks where that stuff is at?
Most of what I was just talking about are talks that will be presented at AQO, so it'll be a part of those materials. But there are a lot of resources on if you click on the STS Intermacs main page and click through, it'll take you to the UAB site about reporting and all of the registries, and there are tons of pages with information there as well.
Okay, we'll probably have some time, and maybe we can just do a quick run through over there. So the results here is people are unaware of the mentorship program. So I'll show you that after the polling. We just have one more set of questions to go through, I think. I will show you where that information is at so you can get signed up. If you have 2 or more years experience, I think you would probably be useful as a mentor, where you provide education or support to someone. A mentee is someone who receives that education. So that would, if you have less than 2 years experience and you're not feeling confident super confident in your abstraction skills, it would be great if you could sign up as a mentee. We are always in need of mentors to help people abstract. So if you have that knowledge and you have a little bit of time, it doesn't take much time to share even just a few emails with a mentee to help answer questions, non-clinical really, but answer questions regarding abstraction processes. AQO is our annual data manager meeting. We talk about quality initiatives and quality outcomes and how the data is being used, data changes to the database. So that's great that it looks like most folks are already signed up, and we have quite a few that will be signing up, so that's exciting. And if you can't make it this year, we'll miss you, but hope to see you next year. We plan to be live in Denver next year. Have you attended AQO in the past? Most folks have not attended AQO, I'm sorry, probably not most folks. It looks like most folks have attended at least once, and then some folks have not attended at all. And then you find most folks find the monthly webinars to be suitable for them. And we have folks still learning and needing more training, but we're here to help you do that. And I'll share this information with Catherine. There's a question about the graphs from today's polls being reviewed on next month. I have to see what it looks like when we get these results back from Zoom, because I think it comes back in one big spreadsheet and we have to split it out. So we'll do our best to have these available for next month's call. Okay, and then we have one more round of questions, I guess. I think there's just a couple here. This is on reporting and how your site is using the Intermacs report. The questions are, I think there's 3 of them here. The frequency of Intermacs data PDMacs data quality reports reviewed by physician representatives. How often are your physicians reviewing these reports? Are they always reviewing them? You know, are they looking at them really frequently? Frequently, are they looking at them every once in a while, or they really don't look at it unless you bring something to their attention? The next question is frequency of running queries and or reports using the live data downloads. How often are you doing that? And then how often corrections are made to participant database on the Intermacs DQR? I hope that these were, I like polling questions, so, because I like to be heard, so I hope that this was at least a little bit, will be useful to you when we get these results put together. All right.
Carol, someone's asked, can you repeat the last, Suzanne's asked if you can repeat the last 2 questions, please.
Sure. So the second to last question was frequency of running queries and or reports using the live data download. How often are you doing that? Are you doing it always, frequently, occasionally, or never? I guess, do you run queries or reports using the live data? And then how often are corrections made to your participant data based on the Intermacs data quality report? Always, frequently, occasionally, or never? Okay, I think we're a couple more coming in here. I'll give you time to think about those answers. And I don't know if my UAB friends have anything to add about the reporting, or if these questions were helpful. Just to get usages. Okay, I'm going to end this. It looks like numbers have stopped coming in. And I'll share that. So always your physicians, most physicians are either always or frequently reviewing the reports. 2 of them are never reviewing the reports, and I'm sorry. And I think Suzanne's not usually her site as well. So it's good to get those reports in front of your physician so they can look at those and see what's going on at your site. It helps them become more engaged and will actually help you do your jobs better when they know what you're collecting, and they can provide you better documentation if they know what your struggles are. And then frequency of running queries and or reports, occasionally, frequently, always, you are utilizing that, and 12 said never. And then how often are you making corrections? Most are making some type of correction based on their Intermacs DQR. A few sites are not. So I'll stop there. And then just an update on AQO. Again, it's September 29th through October 2nd. Intermacs and PDMacs have their own day, which will be on Tuesday, September 29th. The member fee, I don't know if this has been updated with our half-off prices. I don't think I did. I'm going to take you to the website on that. Don't pay attention to those. Sorry about that. On the AQO page, we're going to take a visit over there. What you'll see is the justification letter, a preliminary report, and then a link to the registration form. And the abstract submission is closed. We just are now reviewing the abstracts, and I don't know that I saw any come in for Intermacs or PDMacs. And again, the Intermacs PDMacs session will be on the 29th from 10 to 4:30 Central Time. We're going to take a visit over to the website, and I'll show you where all these links are on the page. This is the Intermacs and PDMacs resource. I'll show you how to get to the UAB website from STS. And then if you have questions, you can send them into intermacsfaq@sts.org. For technical issues, you'd want to contact Chase, and for urgent issues with the STX, Intermacs, and PDMacs, you would want to contact Jean Ann. And then we can go over to questions if you want, but please be kind, because Catherine and Janella are not on the call with us today. As we're doing that, I'm going to, oopsie. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have that in the full screen. I'm going to kind of get out of this, and I want to take you over to the STS website, and we're going to do a quick run through of where some of these resources are located at for you if you're not familiar with the STS website. So STS website is sts.org. All of the registry information is held under the fourth blue tab, which is registries, and then STS National Database. Intermacs, PDMacs are over here, and they're also over here. They added these nice tabs here. But first I want to walk you through this page. So this is the home page for the STS National Database. If you need to add somebody on to your site, or I'm sorry, if you're interested in becoming a site or adding on to one of the other databases, you would want to look under Become a Participant, and more information will be held under there. And this is where we have our live webinars, and on this page you can get access to previously posted webinars all the way back to when these started. They're posted on our YouTube channel, but there's links that will take you back there. And then this is also where you'll find the upcoming webinars for all of the different registries. So Intermacs and PDMacs, you just would scroll down this page and you'll see Intermacs and PDMacs down towards the bottom. Don't hit on the left here because it won't take you. You have to scroll. So we have Intermacs, PDMacs, and we have our user group call, or the database quarterly report webinar is on October 15th. You just click the links to join the webinars and it'll take you right to the Zoom platform. And then the past webinars are hosted here. We have the webinar and then the PDF of the slides. This is the most recent one that we have posted. The other ones are posted on the YouTube playlist. You just click here, and Intermacs has its own playlist that you can go visit. Intermacs, PDMacs has its own playlist. So back on the STS National Database page, if you want to submit a clinical question, this is where you should do it. This is our FAQ mailbox, and it will ask you some information. It'll say if you have not received a response within 30 days to contact, myself, Leanne, or Catherine. And then you just have to fill in what database version you're using, Intermacs and PDMacs, where you're from, and then submit your question. I don't know if you have sequence numbers easily available for Intermacs or PDMacs, but you can just type in 0 here if you do not have that. And then submit, and Catherine gets a notification that there's an email for her, and then she'll check it out. And this format helps us keep track of all the questions that come in. So when we go through upgrades, we have a nice list of areas that we need to really focus on for improving data collection. Down here at the bottom of this page, we have our data manager education page, our database forms, which is where you would fill, if you need to fill out a form to add somebody into your site for abstraction, you would do that here. And then other information that may apply to the other databases. In the database form, this is the participant contact form, is where you would add if you wanted to add somebody to your site. And then under data manager education, this is where we get into the data manager mentorship program. Again, if you have 2 or more years experience and you would like to share some of your knowledge with a colleague, I beg of you to sign up as a mentor, because we are in desperate need of mentors to help with that. If you're looking for somebody to lend you a hand, even just to run a few questions by, then apply to be a mentee if you're new and you just want to get more comfortable. The mentor-mentee relationships have been really helpful in adult cardiac, and I don't know if anybody for the sites here, what the roles are for you. It's been hasn't been too draining to be a mentor or a mentee. That the relationships are very collegial, and it's a great learning experience for both people. And then I'm going to go back to the STS National Database page, and I'm going to click on the Intermacs link. You can click here on this one, and this will take you, once you click here, it's going to take you over to the UAB website. And on the UAB website, this probably looks familiar. This participant contact form will take you right back to that other form we looked at. research opportunities. And then anything on this page specifically that you'd like to point out, my UAB friends?
In terms of the reporting and live data download features, that's all within the report tab there. And then, there are other administrative tabs for all the other information you might want to know in terms of user guides and whatnot.
Yeah, that's great. The live data download, live data form downloads here. That was under reports, live data form download. And there's instructions here with how to do it and how the data is going to come back over to you in Excel format. That's helpful. And it looks like there's a lot of information here, and sites would be great. It would be worth their time to kind of go through this web page and check out all of the different resources that are available.
Definitely. We also have a frequently asked questions there that's we try to expand. So if you're looking for answers, that's a good place to start. And if you see things you think would be helpful for us to add to that, let us know.
Yeah, this was great. Thanks, Ryan. This looks really helpful. So I would take, if I were abstracting for Intermacs or PDMacs, I would definitely take time to check this site out and check out all my resources here, because it's a whole web, looks like almost a whole website dedicated to the Intermacs, PDMacs registries. So that's exciting. And I don't think, so I guess that's everything I have to add here for this call. We can answer, I see a couple questions have come in. I'm going to take some time to answer them. So feel free, but please be kind to submit your questions to the Q&A, and we'll do our best. The team and myself will do our best to answer your questions. The first question I see is, what format or program will the AQO webinar be in? So AQO will be using a virtual meetings platform called Cadmium, and it's actually really cool looking. It's very intuitive and it's nicely laid out. I think that it will be great for the attendees to use that. Our webinars will have live and pre-recorded talks. The live talks will have time for Q&A. So we'll have, I think it's 6 hours of live talks, and then the pre-recorded talks will be available. And I think we have 6 pre-recorded talks, or 5 or 6 pre-recorded talks for Intermacs and PDMacs. So we have quite a bit of education that we'll be able to provide, and we'll have our surgeon leader, physician leaders with us on those live presentations to answer questions for you all. And the Cadmium platform, I think is a great choice for this, so we can connect with you, and it's definitely worth, the price. That's what I was going to show you. Thank you for leading me to that. So I'm just going to go here under meetings, and we can see live courses. We're AQO, which is Advances in Quality and Outcomes, a Data Manager meeting. Our early bird registration runs through September 7th. So it's half off, which is a great, really great price for all of the education. We're also offering CEs for nursing, and I think nursing and perfusion for Intermacs. And let's see if we can find the price here. So it's, yeah, sorry, I had the wrong pricing screenshot up there. So early bird is $75 for the Intermacs and PDMacs. If you participate in more than one registry, it's $150, which I cannot tell you the amount of CEs that are being offered for $150, and the education that's going to help you do your job so much better, and the ability to communicate with the physicians and the lead, some of the core members from the Intermacs, PDMacs group. This is really a fantastic, I'm not trying to sell it to you, but to me, it's exciting that we're able to offer it for that amount of education for this price. I think is kind of great. So the early bird pricing is through September 7th. If you're able to join us, I think you would really enjoy and benefit from doing that. Again, this link was under the meetings tab under live courses, and then AQO was here. So if you have any questions on that, please reach out. Emily Conrad is over the AQO, and then here's I think we have our detailed agenda up here. This is for Intermacs, PDMacs, and we have the live sessions. I'm going to go over the version upgrade. Dr. Grady will be going over the quality of life. She's an expert in the quality of life field. We have our heart-T concept presentation from Dr. Kauger. And then we have a couple quality projects, the biggest discovery of the year, which looks like a really great project that is going to be presented from some of our lead data managers. Missingness, how can it influence your findings? This is from John Pennington, who's on the call with us now. A 6-minute walk review, how to administer trial making, modified Rankin score and labeling rank, and that from Dr. Cleveland. And then Dr. Kirkland's presenting on case-based scenarios. And these are all live presentations. Again, this amount of education for $75, I think is great. So then we have our on-demand talks. This is also part, we'll talk about new Intermacs, PDMacs data manager sessions, the PDMacs new features, PDMacs QA report additions, using Intermacs for QA performance and internal QI. Ryan Cantor will be presenting on, Ryan Cantor Armacio will be presenting on reports, and then data download, digging deeper into using data, and adverse event definitions. Intermacs is full of educational information and a great way to get a better feel for your job. So if you need a letter from us saying, I think it's a justification letter if your administration requires that, then you just need to reach out to Emily Conrad and she'll be happy, or there might even be a link on here. Oh, here it is. Request justification letter. So you can just fill out this form and then the justification letter will be sent over to you. Any additional questions that you may have, please reach out to Emily Conrad, and her email address is hyperlinked here at econrad.sts.org. So thank you for listening to me on that. Next question this is a report question, UAB.
Sure, I'm happy to answer this.
Okay.
So this is an artifact of the most recent year report. So
they can't see the question. They can't see the question, so we have to read it out loud.
The question is a report question for Exhibit 33C KCCQ score analysis. Why does the report no longer show the one-year scores for the STS Intermacs site comparison? And so in the cumulative reports that will be there, in the most recent year, that missing point is an artifact of the fact that if it's only data from the last year, like the 365 calendar days, not all of the patients have actually had their one-year follow-up entered in yet. And so I'm trying to figure out if there's a better way to do that rather than just not showing the point, but currently I'm just suppressing that point for the most recent year only report. But I'll take a look at that again, see what I can see there.
Okay, thank you. And then is the most recent Intermacs recording, July 29th, going to be posted? I missed this one and like to review the recording. So actually I need to apologize because this is my fault. Catherine was out and I was responsible to get this over to Catherine so she could send it. And I had sent it to her and then it got lost. And then my Zoom recordings got deleted. So I no longer have the July 29th recording. I can send you the slides, Ashley, but we will not be reposting the July 29th recording. And I really apologize that had happened. Next question, is there an update on when the Intermacs training manual will be out, or if it's out, where can I find it? I know Catherine was working on a training manual and incorporating some of the FAQs into the training manual, but I think that she was still working on it. I don't know if there's a more recent one.
Hey, this is John. Yeah, so if by training manual you mean the user's guide, I update those periodically and we release one with each calendar quarter. To echo what was just said though, Catherine is working on some extensive FAQ information to include. I haven't gotten that from her. If I get it by the end of September, it'll be included in the one I released in September. I would say that that's important enough info, though, that if I get that after that, but it's before December, I would push a release for an updated training manual before the next scheduled December release.
Great, thank you. Next question, can you show how to get where you are again? It was too quick for me to write down. So Connie, could you just let me know which page you were looking for, and I'll be happy to walk back through that. I don't know if it was the UAB page or someplace on the STS website. Next question, how do you gain access to the IQVIA? And I think what you, IQVIA is just specific to adult cardiac, congenital, and general thoracic. Intermacs and PDmacs are direct data entry through the UAB platform. So I'm not sure if that's what you were referring to, or if you're referring to something else. If you could please clarify, Tana. Thank you. Next question, do I need to download something to participate or listen to the AQO? Can I have that link before the start of AQO to confirm access? So it's web-based. So we will send out, I believe we will send out the information, but I have to check on that on if we, it's the Cadmium platform, it's like a website that you will have to go to. Doesn't sound, you won't need to download an app onto your computer, but it'll just be a link that'll take you to a website. It's a good question though, because I think we need to make sure that sites are not blocked from joining that. So I'll reach out to our meetings team to make sure that they've confirmed, or if they have a process in place. We will have some events ahead of the start of the presentations. So it will allow you to join on early to check your access, but I'm not sure that it would be days. I believe maybe just an hour or so. So I'll check with our meetings team on that and make sure that we have a process in place to help sites get connected if they're having issues. Report question from Ashley. For Exhibit 25 hospital days for discharged patients, in prior reports there was a note that data for this measure included those discharged alive on the device. The new report states for patients that died were transplanted during implant hospitalization, day of death, transplant is considered discharge date. So are all patients now included in length of stay analysis, whether or not discharged alive on device?
This is Ryan again. That is a great question, and I just looked it up. I went and reviewed it because you're not the only person that has asked me this question. I'm not sure, like if I change the text, it's likely the underlying, it's to be in line with what the underlying code is doing, but I don't want to misspeak, so I'll go confirm once again and get that information and send it out to the entire group that's on the call. So sorry, I don't have an answer right off the top of my head on that one.
Ashley really has been reviewing our report. She has another question for you, Ryan. For Exhibit 23C, adverse event rates, what calculation is used for patient percentage? Is it just the number of total events over total patients? If so, she says it doesn't seem to be correct. Can we pull up the most recent report and look together? She said late.
So I'm not prepared to pull up a report now, but you can contact me and we can go through any exhibits on a shared screen on your report. The percent calculated there is based on the number of, for the patient percent report, it is the number of unique patients experiencing that event. And so it is not just the number of events divided by total patients. We might not actually show that numerator on the screen there. It might be that that's done in my programming, but the calculation is absolutely not events divided by total patients. It is number of unique patients divided by total patients. By the total patients, yes, that's correct.
Thank you. And is there a rationale for switching the reporting period from a previous full calendar year to a rolling 4 quarters?
So that change came about, several sites requested it being a rolling 4 quarters. You know, the problem with having something that is very responsive to that rolling 4 quarters and the changes that are happening at sites is that you lose the number of patients and the amount of follow-up. You know, that's kind of related to what you were asking about with the drop off of that data point at 1 year. So the way I originally had the reports designed was to give a year plus a little bit more so that we could get good numbers at that 1 year follow-up. But we got a number of requests from sites saying that they wanted it to just be 1 year, what's happening in the last year, and just the last quarter roll off. So that request came from the STS group, STS team for us to implement. And I think that matches up some of the items from the other registries, although I can't be certain of that. I haven't looked at what the other registries do. So
We do, all the STS registries, we report on rolling quarters.
okay, so I think that was the inspiration there.
Next, where can I find the updated user guide? When I Google it, I get one from 2018. And I'm just wondering, I looked and it looks like maybe the date is just not updated on here under the Intermacs user guide. Is this the most recent? Am I in the right spot for the most recent one?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So this is
Did you
the,
work with John to get the most recent one added there?
Yeah, it looks like it's not, the most recent one's not on the link, but we'll get that updated.
okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, the most recent dated 6/23, Chase.
Okay, thanks for letting us know, Ashley. Any more questions coming in? Any more information to share? Ryan? Chase, anybody? John? Thanks, you.
I really like this polling. I think, I'm wondering ways we can use this in the future to really help get a better sense and, tailor the features to make them more useful to everyone involved.
Yeah, we can do polling anytime on any of the calls, any of the webinars or the user group calls. We can definitely do that. And it's great to hear from sites and give them, let them share their thoughts with us using polling. I like that feature as well. Okay, any more questions? Okay, thanks everybody for joining. Thank you, Chase, Jean Ann, John, Maceo, and Ryan, and thank you, Leanne. I hope you all have a great day, and I promise I won't delete this recording.
Great call, Carol, UABC. Great job, guys.
Yeah, thank you. All right, take care, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.